Yeah. Yo, man, we're just going to get into it. Not going to waste too much time with the music tonight. Okay. I'm going to bring you guys back before I bring you guys forward. But that's going to happen. But right now, we're just going to move forward. And then once everything is completed, we got the keys. Then we're going to take you guys back. So this is kind of like a Quentin Tarantino documentary. Okay. So, my bad on the video there. My buttons are not laid out right. I'm sorry. Okay. So this is where we're at right now. We're at verbal agreement. Okay. The next step is to sign your offer to purchase real estate. That's been signed by us. It's been signed by the owner. Okay. Closing is going to be January 20th. That's when we get the keys, P&S, blah, 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 blah. Shit that I have no clue what that all means. It's all French to me. But I want to bring you guys back. Okay. So we went to the property. This property was off market. I can't give the numbers, can't give the address. We have the Matterport. Not going to show the Matterport. We have the floor plans. All of that is coming. That you guys will see that content January 20th, that night, once we get everything, blah, blah, blah. We might even stream live from the property. We might have a hammer party. Pass us some hammers and have people knock on the wall in the bathroom. Okay. So this process, I want to tell you where we messed up. We fucked up bad on this deal already, and we are behind the 8 ball quickly. So my advice to you, this is my advice to all you new flippers. And if you're thinking about flipping, I think that you should take this video and share it to one of your friends, because we're going to take you step by step every night. We're going to give you a summary of what was going on and where we made a mistake, hindsight's 2020, and where we want to be for the next flip. So this deal came in off market, and we regained access to look at it. We had to hurry up because there were other offers on the table. It was split between 3 agents. My agent got it. And she was like hustling it around. And then she's like, yo, you think you could handle this? So that's how it came to us. Okay. They let us into the unit. I was in the unit first. We just went in. We just checked it out real quickly. Then we got permission again from the broker to go back in to do the Matterport scan. We did the Matterport scan. Now with that Matterport scan, we have something visual that we can send out to contractors when we go to Home Depot, when we go to the tile place, when we go to the bathroom place, when we go to the kitchen place. We have rough dimensions and square footage, and the people could start to put together a little estimate. Because what we wanted to do was we wanted to go to the hard money lender. I knew when I walked in, well, not me, when the agent walked in, the agent was all like, she sent us a text. I think you guys are going to be at $100,000 to do the reno. When we went in, she was like, it's going to be like 150. So we were thinking, okay, 150. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to see if that was really going to be 150. So what we did was we scanned the place, start going to tile places, start to build a little estimate in. Okay, it's going to be $3,000 for a bathroom. It's going to be this for a kitchen. It's going to be this for paint, blah, 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 blah. While we're searching for a contractor, We're trying to get, what is it going to cost, right? So now we have this Matterport scan. We could send the floor plan and the 3D tour walkthrough to the contractor, so the contractor can then view roughly what's going on. We send it to the electrician. We send it to one of our designers. So we were just sending this thing out. I thought that was a pretty good idea. Let me tell you where we kind of screwed up. So while we're sending this out, send it to our electrician, and our electrician said to us, yo, you're going to need plans to start this project. Who's going to do your drawings? Well, the Matterport scan is just your as-is drawing, right? Matterport scans is great for selling real estate. This is what it looks like. You have a rough idea of what it looks like, right? These are the dimensions. They're 99.99 accurate. It's good to get a guy in there with a tape measure and really get it to scale. Okay. So then we needed to find an architect. So we called Robert Nichols. Yo, what's going on, baby? I know it's Christmas. We got to get into this place. We got to get our offer in by Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Christmas is Sunday. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We got to get, you know what I'm saying? We got to get the offer in. And Nichols was just sending me contractors, boom, 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 boom. Right? So then we get a contractor in there. The contractor's walking around and he did his assessment of what's going to be needed to be done. Boom. While all that's going on, my boys are coming like, yo, what's going on? What's going on? We want to see the place. But yeah, it was so weird. Like, it was really tight. The real estate office just wanted this to go by, wanted this to be a tight, well, not willy-nilly experience, which I thought was good, which gives us the credentials to do the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. So we're like in a real estate boot camp with the office. So they're like watching us, they're guiding us by the hand, and they're bringing us through this process. Okay. So the contractor comes, checks it out. He gives us a quote. My boy who's an electrician comes and say, yo, man, you're going to need plans for this. Boom. So I call my man VL Customs. VL Customs, he works down 1010 Mass Ave. 1010 Mass Ave is where they do all the permitting. I called him. What do we need to do? And he's going crazy. What did you say? That's what it sounded like. So I called my man Nichols again. I'm like, yo, Nichols, you got an architect? So we knew going into the project, there was a couple of walls we want to remove. Those walls that we want to remove, from what I see with my real estate experience, those are load-bearing walls, which means that wall is what's holding up the house. I'm not an expert. I'm not an engineer. I'm not an architect. But for what I've seen, usually the load-bearing beam, like the beam that's holding this shit together, usually run in the middle of the house. And this where the wall that we want to remove was connected to the beam on the ceiling running in the middle of the house. So now we're fucked. Right? So now not only do we need drawings from an architect, we got to go now and get those drawings stamped by an engineer to figure out the load points. Crazy. So now we need architectural drawings. We need engineering plans. Okay. My boy VL Custom says, so you need a short form. On your short form, you could do demo, bathroom, and kitchen. Paint. You get electrical, plumbing. You're just your basic run-of-the-mill. We are just ripping out a bathroom, ripping out a kitchen, throwing some paint on the walls, and we're not doing any structural change to the existing structure. That wall's there. We're just going to knock it. We're just going to gut it, and we're going to go back on. That's on the short form permit. Well, now we need a long form permit because we're thinking about throwing dormers upstairs. We're thinking about moving a wall that's load bearing. So now we're thinking, fuck. So we're getting into the 20th, right? Usually we could get, VL Custom says, usually we could get the short form permit that day. The long term is going to take 30 days. So it goes on the desk, take 30 days for somebody to look at it. Then we get the permit to do the removing of the beam and start the dormer work. You don't want to do that because if the inspector comes by and sees you doing structural change without the permit, they could give us a stop work. Dramatic pause. So these things right here are very, 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 very important to nail down first. So where we fucked up was, I believe what we should have done was, we should have took the architect first with us to the viewing. So my advice to you is, your first thing to do is find an architect and a structural engineer. Hopefully you can find that same person that does both. Most professional engineers can do architectural plans. So and if he's a licensed architect and a licensed engineer, he could stamp both stamps, stamp both plans with the stamp, and you're up and running. So now it's January 2nd or January 3rd because it's midnight. It's January 3rd right now, and we're closing in 17 days. And now we're trying to get the homeowner to let us back in with the architect. Now, the homeowner can be cool and let us back in. Or the homeowner could be saying, what the hell? This is like your third trip there. So if we had brought the architect and the engineer with us from jump, we could have gotten those plans by now. Well, yeah, like 3-4 days because the plans are pretty simple. Or the plans would be ready by the 20th. So as soon as we get the key, sign the P&S, we just run down to 1010 Mass Ave and start the submitting. Dramatic pause. But because we didn't bring the engineer and the architect and the engineer with us on the first site visit, we're now at the mercy of the homeowner allowing us to get in there before we sign the P&S. The homeowner can say, yo, it's 17 days, just relax. And we don't want to put pressure on the homeowner. Because the homeowner can be like, man, fuck this. I don't want to sell to these idiots. They're annoying. So what if the homeowner, because we're trying to get in there tomorrow. So what if the homeowner doesn't want us? It's like, no, I'm busy, blah, 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 or they don't want us in there. Then what? So let's say we get in there on the 20th short form either that day, depending if it's the morning or night or whenever we could sign. Get down to 1010 Mass Ave. I think they close at 4. Get the short form permit. Submit the long form. And now February 20th, we're ready to go. To do the dormers and everything else, which is still good time because that would bring us February into March. So right now, everything right now is really tight. And it's like we're putting pressure on everyone because we didn't do our due diligence in the beginning. And this was our first mistake. And this is what I want to explain to you guys right now. What I would want you guys to do is make sure if you're getting to flipping, I honestly think you should have your architect and engineer on your team. Because if you go on Home Depot can do work for you. I mean, there's plenty of people that could do contractual work for you. You could go with a big box company that will come. Home Depot will do your kitchen for you. The dumpster company that I was looking at, they come and do demo. Right? There's got to be tons of carpenters. So there's tons of people that could do the contractual work, that could do it good enough. It's going to cost you a little bit more money, but I think costing a little bit more money and taking shortcuts is the way to go. And when you go with big box, there's more of a, you feel good. Like you could say, yo, Home Depot put my bathroom in it. And so if it falls apart, you could sue them motherfuckers because they got the money to do it, right? But then you start to build a rapport with Home Depot. Like, yeah, man, we did a kitchen for you. And then Home Depot will start to throw you screws for free. And they start to throw you little things for free. And you build a relationship with Home Depot. So finding a contractor, everybody puts the emphasis that if you don't have a contractor, you're doomed. Having a contractor and not having an architect or an engineer, the contractor doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Contractors work off of blueprints. If you have no forms, if you have no plans, nobody knows what the fuck you want to do. And with those plans, that's how you could manage your project, right? So if you have your blueprints printing up, like I'm thinking now, so I have my as-is drawings. I'm going to have my as-is, what the place looks like right now. The renovations we're going to do right now. So when I go down to 1010 Mass Ave, I can submit everything. So it'll give me the short perm, and I've also will submit the long form, short form and long form dockets that day. So when I go down the 20th or the 21st, everything's in motion. And that's because I got the plans made. You cannot wait to January 20th to be fumbling around looking for an architect or engineer. Because the contractors are not going to start without that. I think that is the hidden thing. Me personally, I also think you need like $10,000 in cash. So besides your down payment, most hard money lenders, they want you to put some money down. Our hard money lender is getting us to the finish line with nothing out of our pocket. Great company out of Virginia. But we still need cash, right? So we had to, so when we got a verbal offer, we had to deposit $2,500 And that got the buyer to the table to sign the offer to purchase real estate. You got the check for $2,500. He signed it. Now at the P&S, we're going to need an additional $17,000 to close the deal. That money is going to come from the hard money lender, is going to write the check for $17,000. It's going to go straight to the office. Wire the money. But this is why I say you need $10,000, right? So you got to come up with $2,500 to do your initial deposit to get the office to purchase real estate. That's what you guys are seeing right now on the stream. That's what it looks like. Ours look differently than that, but that's give or take what it looks like. Every office has their own thing. So you need $2,500 for your first down payment. You need our engineer, our architect, and the structural guy is the same person. He's a professional engineer. He's charging $2,000, right? So that's $55,000. Remember, the hard money guy has to give a check in a couple of days. I think by the 6th or the 7th, he's got to wire money. And he's going to wire the rest of the money to us. But we can't wait for that money to come in before we start to move. By the 20th, we want to make sure the architect is paid off. The permit is submitted. You got to pay for your permit. The permit is submitted that day, so we have money. Permits paid for. Architect is paid for. Dumpster is rolling in the driveway. That's going to be roughly $6,000. I say have 10, because then you can buy some goggles, hats, sledgehammers. You can start to do your little demo before your construction crew come in. So you need money for the down payment, but then you also need money for the little hidden costs. Right? You need $600 in Massachusetts for the attorney. The attorney's got to go and look to make sure that the homeowner doesn't owe any taxes and the title's clean. That's $600. So I can't even do the math, but you guys will do the math, right? So it was $2,500 for the initial deposit. Okay. It's $2,000 for the architect to do the plans, plus do the structural. $600 for the attorney to look at it, search the title, be at the P&S. We may need money to pay off the taxes before we purchase. Maybe all the money. I don't know how that works, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So you're gonna need at least $10,000 in cash to streamline this process. Because if all the money, I want to make sure that when that money is wired in, I'm ready to go. We can't wait, especially in this market where interest rates is going crazy. And we want to have a nice house by March. Springtime, we got a nice crib. And we want to be on time ahead of the snow. We've been very lucky so far. The gods have been absolutely phenomenal. Hold on a second. My throat's getting dry. Give me a second. I'm going to get myself a sparkling water. So refreshing, so good. So that is where we're at right now. As I pause to take a sip out of my Poland 100% natural seltzer, calorie-free, lemon. That hits the spot better than a beer. That absolutely hit the spot. So that is my spiel. If you're getting into the flip game, I think you need an additional like 10 grand just hanging around where you could use that 10 grand to lubricate the process. You get your engineer in there. Some contractors charge you a quote fee, right? They may charge you a couple $100 to come out and do the quote. So you may need money for that. You're gonna need money for your permits. You're gonna need money for your drawings. Electrician comes out, he may hit you with a quote. A painter come out, he may hit you with a quote. Carpenter may come out, may hit you with a quote. Roofing guy may, you know what I'm saying? You don't know if these people are gonna charge you or do a free estimate. Dramatic pause. So you just don't know. So that is where we're at. Hopefully we can get in there tomorrow, get the engineer all squared away. And just keep this project moving because we just don't want to be behind the eight ball. Even though we're behind the eight ball, we did some good stuff, but I think not having an architect or a structural engineer at the scene with us on the first thing, I think that is more crucial than having a contractor. If you could have all three present at the same time on the first walkthrough, that could get you your contractor's quote, that could get you your drawings, get you all your stamps. So then you know how much, you know exactly how much it's going to cost you to renovate. You know, you got your plans, your architect, your engineer is talking with the contractor. So they start to write little notes of what can be done, what can't be done, what's going to be easy can be done, how we could change the structure right away. I think that's the ultimate. But if you don't have a contractor, I think it's mandatory that you have an architect and a structural engineer on your team. That is mandatory. There's no ifs, no buts. That needs to be done. All right.